Hey everybody, I'm Mr. Fritz,
And I'm Mr. Doherty.
and we're your 6th grade science teachers here at Black Hawk Middle School, and we're going to show you how to get the egg out, but we want to talk about why the egg went in the first place in our amazing egg experiment. Remember, do not try this at home. We have safety equipment, fire extinguisher, we have safety goggles. We also have, what is that, Mr. Doherty?
Pyrex safety glass.
Yeah, so that is rated for our heat and all the good stuff. This is a specific one for our science class. Do not start using your glassware at home.
Good idea.
So we are going to recreate the experiment of the amazing egg. So let's
Let's jump into
let's just
it,
get
right?
right to it.
So, I guess we're trying to go over why it goes in.
We got to figure that out.
All right, so we had placed an egg on here, and in class they've seen what's going to happen.
Yep.
Already. We know the egg's going to go in, but why?
Why does it do it?
Okay.
Now remember, this is an egg with no shell. It's a hard-boiled egg. It's very important with the details. This is a 1,000 milliliter glass flask, okay, that is empty other than air.
Yep, so we put the egg on top, and it does not go in. I mean, it's not falling.
The egg is too large for the hole.
Yep, so something has to go on here,
Mhm.
okay? And I guess if we can just start with that this room is filled with air. If it wasn't, we would be
Yep.
in trouble. And the air, the atmosphere we're in is pushing down on us, almost like if you're going to a swimming pool and it's too deep and your ears start to have the pressure. Well, air has pressure too.
Yep.
Okay, so there's this big weight of air. You can kind of think of it as all these little molecules of air bouncing all over the place and it's hitting us and all those things like that. And when we put this here, it's the same push, same pressure up here as it is inside.
So there's the same air inside of here, as you're saying, Mr. Dory, as outside.
Like the pressure inside.
The pressure is the same.
Yep, pressure exactly
Virtually
the same. So they're both pushing, but they're equal, so they cancel each other out.
So it balances because the hole's too small. So then how do we get it in there?
So what we got to do is change something. We got to change the pressure.
Okay.
Okay, and what we're going to do, and I guess I can just do it as I'm talking about, we're going to heat up the air inside.
Okay, make it hot.
Okay, we're making it hot. And if you heat up the air, okay, maybe a lot of you scientists out there already know, that's going to cause the air molecules inside here to speed up, and you're going to see perhaps the egg bouncing up and down as some of the air molecules are leaving.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, so you ready?
I've got the egg.
Check.
Goggles are on. This is ready to go in case we do something. Again, we're professionals. Don't try this at home. I don't need everyone's parents calling me saying we started a fire. Do not do this at home. I
We
told you
want to
5
get this
times.
nice and hot.
Oh, that's really hot. Oh my gosh.
There it went.
Whoa.
Nice. Okay, so you saw for yourself with your own eyes that egg went in there.
And remember the observations. Observing things with your sight, smell, taste, touch. Don't taste it. Can you smell that smoke? I can smell the burning. Okay, we can taste it in the air.
It is hot.
It feels pretty warm. Now, usually don't just grab things like that. Don't do that. I knew how warm it was going to be. If you heard that, and you might have said it on the other video from the Amazing Egg 1, that first section of the discussion thread, you saw it bounce. What was that bouncing?
Remember that we talked about that air heating up and a big kind of rush of air was coming out.
So if all the air is going out,
Okay,
what's happening then?
and then once this fire goes out, that air starts to cool down a little bit, and now those gas particles aren't expanding as much, not moving as fast, and they're no longer able to push the egg up, so they kind of plugs the hole.
Yeah.
But some of that air had left.
Yeah. And you remember on the discussion, one of the most common guesses why the egg went in was it got sucked in. But
Okay. Technically, really, if we have a lower pressure on the
Yeah.
inside than on the outside,
well, we say science doesn't suck.
Yeah.
It didn't get sucked in. What ended up happening?
it actually gets pushed right in from the outside air.
So the outside air, non-contact force, pushed it down into the flask.
Yeah, they pushed it right in. And this is something that you'll see in our class, but it covers so much of what we're going to be talking about
Throughout
this
the year.
Forces, pressure, oh my gosh, matter,
Everything.
everything.
Now,
Boom.
the thing is, you folks, 6th graders, came up with some wonderful ideas on how to get this out. We're going to do a few of those ideas to see which ones work and which ones
the
don't.
discussion thread looking for the ideas you had of how we get the egg out. Okay? And the first one that I came across was simply turn it upside down and give it a little shake. Like, will that get it out? So let's try.
Give it a go.
You see it okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if I just put this up and try to... I hear a lot of popping noises, but that ain't gonna do it. That does not get the egg out.
What a
Some
fail.
of us, a common one was Well, if we have more pressure, let's fill it with water. So I'm gonna fill this with water.
Try to see what you're doing.
I'm filling up the flask with water because they said, well, if we fill it with water, it should pour out. Well, the problem is the egg is sinking at the bottom. It's not gonna float to the top. So that's a good egg, I think. Now, they also said, tip it upside down. I heard that in classes, and I've seen it in the discussion thread. So let's see what happens when I tip it upside down. Let's turn the water up. Let's use our senses. And, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's clogged. This happens in your septic tank and your pipes and stuff, and toilets, you know.
Yeah,
It's
don't-
clogging the rest of the water. What if you shake it? A little bit of the drips come out. It's kind of like, okay, hold in the bathroom and something's plugging up, and look and it's dancing in there. We're cleaning the egg. We're not damaging the egg or flask, but just the water's coming out. And guess what? Did this work or not? Is the egg still in there? Answer the question.
Which is interesting. If we use fire to get it in, could we use fire to get it out? So they said, well, start a fire on inside and see what happens.
Let's try it.
Let's do it. Sounds fun. Again, goggle check. Yep.
Yep.
Here we go.
Fire extinguisher.
And
Do not do this at home. And look at that roar. So if the fire made the outside air put it in, would it make it push out? Well, it's just sitting there.
if I quickly turned it.
Nope, the heat's not pushing it. Remember, because, well, why wouldn't that go out? I don't know. Is it because there's not as much atmospheric pressure inside?
Yeah, I think there's a way that this could work if we did it perfectly. But I think just in general, starting a fire in there doesn't really get it going. There would have to be a couple other steps, but I think they're onto something.
We're getting
Well,
close.
another one that some of you guys have said is, why can't we just suck out the egg?
So I'm gonna try to pull it out like this. So I'm gonna hold it like so and try to suck it out.
I saw it bounce around. I actually pushed it the other way.
So I'm actually sucking the air out. It makes it want to go back in. So I guess that doesn't, well, really work, does it?
No.
All right. But another one, let's just stay with this flow, is if we take the air out, well, there's less air in there. What if we put more air in?
Okay. Would that impact the air pressure inside?
Yeah. So I have air in my lungs, both sides. I'm going to push the air inside. Let's see what happens when I do that. Put the egg in.
Did you see the egg dance there, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my God, he ate it.
Oh.
Here we go. Another idea came in, and it sounds pretty good. So I wanted to try this one out. And their idea was, well, if we have this upside down and the hole is blocked, if we heat the glass, which will heat the air inside, it'll cause the gas to expand like we talked about earlier and increase the pressure inside, pushing the egg out. So we went and got a hairdryer.
Ooh.
Look at that. So I'm hoping my hand can handle the heat. Here we go. It's on hot. See what happens. Can you see it moving?
Just slightly. Uh-oh.
It's coming on. Nice. It worked. Congratulations. That was a great idea.
One is a lot of people understand and they've seen things with like baking soda and vinegar and how it makes this chemical reaction that explodes. We'll talk about that later. So I have some sodium bicarbonate here, which is baking soda that you have told me about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the vinegar and baking soda in there because you know that bubbles up. We're going to see what happens with that. So what I'm going to do first is put a nice spoonful in my flask here. You know what? Let's put another one in there for freedom.
You can never have enough.
Never enough. And now I have this acetic acid, which you would know it as vinegar. So I'm going to put that in there, and we're going to see what happens. And should I tip it upside down right away? Might as well.
Might
See
as
what
well.
happens. So I'll dump that in there, go like that. Oh,
Oh, what? I think I heard it.
it shot it right out
that out.
instantly. It was so fast. It's because of those bubbles. Well, you have that carbon, it just pops.
Okay,
Yeah.
one last attempt here. I was saving this one for the end just because it seemed kind of crazy. But the idea is if you start a fire in this bottom flask, and we've got this coating here to keep the air from getting from the outside either in or out, so creating kind of a seal. The idea, they said, is if you heat the air inside, it will push the air up past this egg, increasing the pressure here, pushing the egg out. Okay,
See
and
what
like you
happens.
say, only one way to find out if it's gonna work. So here we go.
Got to try science.
Try science. There you go. Okay, goggle check. And ooh, that's a good bite.
Do not try this at home. He's a paid professional. You can tell by his lab jacket. Ooh, I heard something. Oh my gosh!
Whoa! Huh?
That's the best I've ever seen that happen.
Now, did it technically get the egg out?
Now we have another problem.
Yeah.
The egg's in the other flask.
Right. So, technically, kind of, sort of, maybe that worked. How do you want to?
I'd say it works, but we still have a problem.
Yeah. It got out of this flask
It did technically,
without breaking the flask or the egg.
but we got that flask.
But now we have a whole new.
All right, we're gonna do a bonus, not getting the egg out, but a bonus way to get the egg in. If you recall, we put fire inside of here. The fire made the air go out, outside air pressure pushed it down. What if I have a happy birthday egg? Because sometimes we miss birthdays in the summer. So happy birthday to us. Here we go. Now I've got the fire going. I'm not gonna push it down, but I'm just gonna gently set this over to create the seal.
Close.
We got it,
I got you right here.
and watch what happens.
And there it goes. Success.
Success. Bonus video.